Page 25, York Avenue Blues. On page 24, they're talking about major and minor triads. So hang on to your socks. We're getting a little deeper in the music theory stuff. Let's just make sure we understand all this stuff going on. Not going to get into it real deep. I'm just going to cover what they're doing. Remember what a triad is. It is a three-note chord. Any three-note chord. Take a C chord. I could take an F chord, a G chord, doesn't matter what the chord is. It's a three-note chord. Remember whole steps and half steps? It's important we understand those because everything's built on those. Remember this, the major scale is the pattern, whole, half, whole, half. It's a pattern of whole steps, half steps. Okay. A major triad here is a third and a third stacked on each other. An interval of a third, 1, 2, 3, and a third, 1, 2, 3, stacked on each other. The first third is 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I could go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 half steps. That's a major third. Then the other third, that is a minor third. It's just 1 half step less. 3 half steps here. 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. So a major triad is a major third and a minor third. The minor third's on top. Major third, minor third. I could start on any note on the keyboard, white or black. If I follow that pattern, I am guaranteed to get a major triad. For instance, let's start here. Let's pick a note. Here. I want a major triad. Well, I'm going to go up 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's a major third here. And then from here, I'm going to go up a minor third or up 3 half steps. 1, 2, 3. So it's a major triad. I might not know what it is, but it is a major triad. Huh? You do that on anything, you get it. And that's what a major triad is. Major third, minor third. Simple as that. The minor triad just flips them. You get the minor triad first and the major triad on top. Or, an easier way to look at it is simply take the middle note, take it down a half step. Because now I got a minor third and a major third. And that's sort of what they're saying here. You just take a major triad and put the middle note down a step. I went through and explained more to it because not every triad on a white key is major. If I start like here, well, what is this? Well, it's a 1, 2, 3. That's a minor third. This is a minor triad. Because 1, 2, 3, 4. I got a minor third and a major third. That's a minor triad. If I want a major triad, I got to move the middle note up 1. That's a major triad. So it's important you understand the half step situation here on the triad, the thirds. Minor, major. And that's sort of what they're doing here. You simply take the middle note and you move it down a half step for the minor. If the middle note, or if the triad is a major triad. Because if it isn't, then you don't go down 1, you don't have that. You go up 1. So that's a minor triad, that's a major triad. So it depends on where you are. It's the whole steps and half steps you can rely on no matter what. And that's why I use them. This blues thingy over here is using those. Look in the left hand. You have a C chord. That is a C major chord now. We can say we're using major triads and minors. So it's a C major triad. Normally when it's major, we don't say major. It's implied. If you don't say what flavor it is, it's implied that it's major. But if it's anything else, you got to say what it is. So the minor, you have to say C minor, C major, or C, C minor, C. Measure 5, F, then F minor, F, whatever. So that's what they're doing in the left hand. Let's look this over here. It's 1 page long on the blues. I'm looking blues over here. Treble bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature when the key is C major. Make sure you're doing the C major scale. I got the video. You've heard this before. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. 4/4 time signature, and I see a bunch of eighth notes all over everywhere. So let's take the right hand first to make sure we understand what's going on. You're starting here. That puts you in this position, sort of, except you see the last note in the first measure is an E. It's here. So really, this is the position. And we're going to move around. So let's start. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then the fourth finger's on the B, so I'm going to use it on B flat. Okay, and then third measure. Now you have an A and a B flat together. Remember that flat sounds good for the rest of the measure, so that is a B flat still. And then you have a 1 beat rest to come up to here. When I'm looking for fingering, I'd like to try and connect everything with the fingers if I can. Can't always, but I can. And we have a beat rest at the end of the first line. We have time to come up. So you can come up here. But I'd still like to be able to connect that. And that's a stretch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that dotted half note with the thumb instead of second finger. So with that measure, just scrunch up and use the thumb here. This way I can reach the F more easily. Even though I have a rest, I'm going to lift up anyway. My hand isn't moving. I'm in position already. And then I'm up here. So forth. And when I get done with the second line, I'm here. And then a 1 beat rest. And then it's the same note, but a little finger. It's a repeated note. Well, we change hand positions on repeated notes all the time anyways. This is fine. Just lift up and come down. That's what I'm recommending you do. Now at the end of the third line, measure 12, you're not coming up here, so you can just play that with second finger. We don't need to change it there. Left hand, well, I've talked about the left hand for the most part. You have the C major chord and then the C minor, okay? And then the F chord, the 4 chord, and the minor, major. Last line though, we're down here. Here, so it's 3, 2. We're using the second finger here because I want to connect them. But normally the second finger would play the C. And I recommend on measure 13 that you play the last one with the fourth finger. I mean, it's easier. You're already there. You can scratch up and do it. The problem is in measure 14, I need the F anyway, so why not just use fourth finger? My little finger's in position. So measure 13 is 5-1, then 4-1, and then 5-1 again. Now here I'm going to stretch down and use 3-1. Here. I'm going to do that. This way I'm going to use 5 and 2 for the last one. So I just stretched. I'm in position. I didn't move the hand really. I just stretched out. So again, the last line, measure 13 is 5-1, then 4-1, and then again 5-1, now 3-1. Now I'm 5-2. And then the last measure, that last C, has an AVA under it. You just reach down. If you have a short keyboard, you don't have the note, just play the lowest C you've got. It's fine. Put the heads together. Well, for the most part, it's not too bad because only one hand at a time is doing anything. So here, the left hand's just holding it down. 1, rest. The whole thing is just one hand at a time playing. So you put the hands together and then go back over it slowly and carefully and get rid of the hesitations. So it's a steady beat throughout. Then we think about the articulation. Connect them. You have to lift up for the rest. You can't connect the chords, but do the best you can. I'm using third finger on both of these. I mean 1, 3, 5 on all these chords. Now the last line, you get staccatos. And you get the wrist here. 1, 2. Watch the rhythm. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 4 and. Once I understand the articulation, then I think about the dynamics. MF for the first line, mezzo forte is sort of loud. It's going to be the right hand. These chords need to be in the background. The second line, it go up to loud. The chords need to be in the background. Third line, measure 9, come back down, and then the last line you go back up. For one measure, come down a little bit. Now we're sort of soft in the right hand. The left hand's soft. 2. That last note is really soft because we want to hear that throughout. That's sort of the dynamics. You need to get where you can feel these dynamics. Speed, what do you think the eighth notes, what can you do accurately? Two, three, four, maybe a little slower. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. However, it's blues, New Avenue Blues. It's a blues piece, a blues style of music. So in that case, I'm going to play it in a blues style. Now that means I'm going to swing the rhythm. You just automatically do it. In blues, swing, or jazz, any of those, you just automatically swing the rhythm. Unless the music says play evenly, and it says nothing, then I'm going to swing it. And that's where we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The eighth notes are long, short. That's blues. So that limits how fast or slow you can go because it needs to swing. Now at the end, they show a pedal on the last measure. If you want to put pedal down there, you don't need it. But if you want to, put the pedal down right after you play the notes. And you lift the pedal up in the hands, everything comes up together if you want it. In blues, I do that sometimes. At the end, we give the last chord color. Purpose of it. In blues, you can get away with that, I think. Otherwise, don't bother. I'm not going to show the pedal if that's all they're going to do. I think you can handle it. One thing about swinging the rhythm, at the end you see the RIT, retardando, to slow down. When you start getting slower in blues, the swing doesn't work anymore. In that case, you even out the eighth notes, you start playing them straight. So it's ba. So it's like I played the last 2 beats straight. Just because I slowed down is all. Remember the natural accents? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, beginning of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, bum, bum. Feel the natural accents as you play in these pieces. It's really important. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the louds and softs. I'll give us 4 counts. And I can't slow down at the end either. We got to keep. I am going to swing the rhythm though. I'm going to do the 1 and 2 and 3. I'm going to do that. There's no notation for this. You just have to feel this swing. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and rest and rest and and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3